Guys, well, what you're looking at here is my Fender Blues Deluxe, 94 Blues Deluxe. And the reason I got it opened up is I'm going to install one of these. Actually, two of these. These are audio taper pots for the volume, for the overdrive channel, because the pots that Fender puts in for whatever reason are linear taper, which makes them really touchy. If you try to play at low volume, it's almost impossible. These have a much gentler sweep, so you can adjust the volume against the gain much easier. And so that's the idea. These are only about $6 part, so I got two of them, one for each volume. I'm going to change the clean channel volume and the overdrive channel volume. Also, I'm going to take the volume pot, which is this one for the overdrive, and put it in where the reverb is, because I broke the reverb. There, see? Shaft came out. I was trying to pull the knobs off. It stuck and yanked the shaft right out. So anyway, I'm going to shift one of the other pots over for that. So hang on a sec, and we'll get the circuit board out and get started. Okay, before we start, I need to point something out. You've probably seen this before, but I'm going to do it anyway, just to make sure everybody's safe. On tube amplifiers can carry an awful lot of voltage after it's been shut down. This, and this. These are filter caps. These capacitors can hold a charge of well over 300 volts, which is enough to blow you across the room if it's not enough to kill you. So be careful of these. Make sure they're discharged using one of these, a multi-tester, and make sure you leave the amp. I've left this one unplugged for 2 or 3 days before I started this job. Those caps are well discharged, but do be careful of that. If you're at the least bit uncomfortable, get a tech to do it, to do your work. But the multi-testers, these things here, you can get them pretty cheap. I think I paid like 15 bucks for this one a few years ago. So you can just be careful of that. Be aware, these capacitors, there's enough juice in there to kill you. So here's my disclaimer. Let's get on with it. Okay, I already got the knobs off, and just undoing now the jacks for the effects loop and for the foot switch. I'll just take those out because the whole circuit board has to slide out from underneath. So that's what we got to do. Okay. And same with the switches. Take these nuts and the jewel thing and put them somewhere where they won't get lost, around and behind. And I think I need a different socket. Here we go. We'll use a different socket for the knobs. That's the reverb one that's busted. So yeah, I've been thinking about doing this mod for a while, and the parts are cheap. It's pretty easy to change those pots over to. They basically snap in, a couple dabs of solder and you're done. So okay, we'll almost ready. Give me a second to reposition the side pad and we will get the circuit board out. Okay, there's a few screws that hold the circuit board in place, so we have to take those out and put them in our little pile of stuff. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I can see. So we're taking those out, and the board slides down and kind of pulls out from the bottom, exposing the pots. I am also at some point going to recap this whole thing. I'm going to order a kit online that gives you all the necessary caps as well as a few upgrades. This one's looking a little rough right there, but it's the heat from these resistors that's doing that. But you know, I think it's 20 years old, and I think I read somewhere that the capacitors in the tube amp are generally good for about 15 years worth of rocking, and this one has seen its share. So that's what's going to happen probably in the next month or so. I'll cut a video about that too, show you what's done there. Not terribly hard. I did the same thing with a Fender Blues Junior a while back, which is one of my back videos. You can see that if you're looking for it. Okay. Oh, one more screw. One more screw. Yeah, if it doesn't want to slide out, don't force it. Last thing you want to do is break your circuit board, then you're fucked. You're buying a whole new amp pretty much. Got one of the nuts. And we slide her down and out very carefully. You want to be careful with these ribbon connectors. These are quite they're quite delicate. Get rid of this. This is causing me some grief. This is the little zip cord that's holding the wires together. Another thing we're gonna do is rejig these and make them a little tidier than the mess that Fender just balls them up in. And there we go. Here's the circuit board out. There's the pots. We can see everything nice and neat, like. And what we got to do is make sure that we remove the proper pots. It would suck to take out the wrong pot. Seriously suck. So, this is the one I'm changing, so I'm going to put a black mark on it. And this one here I'm going to change too. Two gets a black mark. And there you go. Okay, let me reposition the side pad again so you can see what we're doing, and we'll get started. Okay, we're ready to go. This is the one of the ones that we're going to do. Okay, and here is the, get in the camera, is the replacement. You'll notice these little crimped corners here. These are snaps. So this whole assembly just snaps in place, and this, and this are these. So that snaps in there, and then of course the 3 terminals are here, here, and here, and that's all there is to it. You've got 4, 5, 6, 7 joints to desolder. This one remains in place because it's not part of the thing. So that's what we're going to do. Take this out. This will snap in place. Solder it on, and we're done. And then we'll move down to the other one. Then we'll repair the reverb. Okay, hang on. Okay. doing is, oops, there, putting a little bit of downward pressure. There we go, got those ones. Now I'll put some pressure downward on here. Before I was lifting up on the shaft to pull the back end of the thing down. Now I'm going to do it the other way. Okay, there, and then we do the terminals, keeping a little bit of downward pressure, doing each one a bit at a time. Get back at it. Yeah, shit. I just solder that back on again. There. Okay. So. I can feel it starting to move. It's just be patient with it. Don't try to force it too much. There. Done. Okay. And here is the old one. Nothing wrong with it. Still a good pot, worth keeping. But just the value of it wasn't suitable for what I wanted. So this one here will go over to the damaged other one. Okay. Now what I gotta do is I'm just going to remove the solder from here and from this one. Should use a little solder wick, which I don't have one, so heat it up and blow it out of the way. There. Okay. Now we take it and we just plug it in, snap it into place. There. So now it's snapped into place. Now I have to resolder these joints, and that's that. There. And we're done. These ones are important because, as you can see, the trace follows them, so they're part of the ground. So they have to make sure there's a good solder joint. These two don't matter too much. They just more or less hold the thing in place. I'm going to put a bit more on this one anyway, just because. Okay. And that's that. Now we're going to remove this one and replace it, and I'll do the other one too. Okay, but I think you get the idea. Alright, so just stand by for a sec. Alright, I'm ready to put the circuit board back in, and it's just a reverse of what we did before. Pouring it up more or less and very gently, sliding the pots underneath the lip of the faceplate. And then we just bring it up like that. That lines up nicely. Okay, I'm going to one nut on one of the shafts here just to hold it in place so it doesn't keep dropping down on me. Come on, get on there. Finger tight, there we go. There. So it just keeps it in place. So I put the screws back in. And we're all good to go. So yeah, it's just a very simple job. Just a few soldering points. All you really need to do something like this is a bit of soldering skill, and it's not difficult to learn. YouTube, there's tons of videos out there to show you how to do soldering better than I could ever show you. So, you know, if you want to try some of this stuff, check that out. Soldering iron costs you about 20 bucks at your Home Depot or wherever hardware store you like to shop at. For a 40 watt iron is about right for this type of stuff. Any hotter, you're going to start doing damage to the circuit board, which is not cool. Any cooler than that, any cooler than 40 watts, it gets difficult to heat some of the larger lugs you might be working on. I wouldn't recommend trying your first soldering job on an amplifier. Best way to do it would be change a pickup in a guitar. You know, everybody has an axe they'd like to change a pickup in. Get your pickup and give it a shot. Watch a video or two, and you're good to go. Come on, you bastard! God, this won't fight with me. So yeah, it's not difficult at all. There it is. So anyway, you get the idea of that. So let me get this thing buttoned up and we'll see how it works. Okay, so what I've done here, just to show you that rat's nest of wires that Fender installs, I redid it and loomed them all together, nice and tidy like. Not only looks better, but it helps to cut down background noise and whatnot from the transformer interfering with other parts of the circuit. So that's been done. I just got to put the chicken heads back on, put the back on, and we'll try it. Okay, we're all set. Got it all plugged in and warmed up. I'm going to use my humbucker strap, and let's see what it sounds like. Okay, we're all set, and let's bring up the master. This is the pot that we changed. It's much easier to control. We have over here, where is it, the gain. So now that's pretty much a bedroom level, and I can hear the overdrive nicely. Before it was almost impossible to do that. And I've replaced the reverb pot with the one that used to be here. So there you go. Any questions about this? Let me know. Thanks for watching.